Yo everyone, well going on, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's having a great day. I must say shout out to all of those that came out to the end of month subscriber live stream last night. It was a nice little time, nice little close-knit group of us having a little discussion. By now it should be up on the channel, so if you missed it you can definitely take back a look. It's at 2.5 hours though, so yeah. But yeah, respect and shout out to everyone that came out all the same. Of course, today we'll be tackling Boruto episode 192, which should continue the Kawaki transition episodes, although based on the preview, this episode should cover at least the dream sequence from Boruto manga chapter 26, so it's going to be interesting to see how they adapt it and, whatever extra material they add to flesh out any other things they had set up for chapter 26. So yeah, it should be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to reacting to and giving my thoughts on this episode because hey, we're getting closer and closer to that big fight that I'm looking forward to seeing how they actually animate. So yeah, but anyway, thanks for tuning in. If you're tuning in for the first time, I appreciate it, but let's get right into the episode. Ooh, that's a nice little effect there. Ooh, nice, nice. Kind of like this time-lapse kind of thing. That looks really nice. More than they'll be giving us more of Kawaki's backstory than more than what was shown in chapter 26. And there we go. I'll top up the water bottle, man. Or the bamboo bottle. Ooh. That look in the eyes. Yo. That's a nice art piece right there. Okay, random cave. I wonder if that's going to have some relevance later on. Because they just put like this big cave hole right there. So that was strange. Ah, Jano, seriously? I feel buy a lick of him father. Jano. Wait, hold on. I wonder if this is actually Jigen transformed into somebody. I mean, all Kawaki has to do is pull a Eren Yeager! But that's a new tidbit of information though, because I don't think it was ever said manga-wise that his father was like an ex-shinobi. But that gives another layer to look at the situation from, because if he's a shinobi that fought in the Fourth Great Ninja War, then eh. I mean, just to see the contrast between Kawaki here and Kawaki now, honestly, you can see why he is the way he is right now in terms of not easily just trusting anybody. Personally, I would love for Kawaki to meet back his dad in present day and then kick his ass. Honestly, because I think Kawaki deserve a moment like that at least. But I'm loving this episode because yo, I mean, Kawaki's already one of the best characters manga-wise, but this just adds on to it. Ah, there we go, confirmation. Oh, Delta. One thing though, the art in this episode looks pretty good. Oh shit. All of that for nothing, brother. Granted, the alcohol would have finished like leaking out by the time he got home anyway. So yo, that looks really good. Come on, Kawaki, turn into the Jaeger! Would you like some sugar? Okay, so I see what happened. Ishiki, well, he brought the Ishiki wine. The Ishiki wine is all he needed. Are you a god or something? Well, I mean, kinda. Yo, and then the OST. Yo, like just yo. Like just the shading and everything. Oh, okay, so apparently the Kiev. I guess my prediction or you know my curiosity about it comes true. Or is is the exit for the village? Oh shit. The goldfish cellar. Oh shit. So yo. Dog. So the goldfish cellar was crafty too. Why poor goldfish seller? He has no idea what he's doing. Yo. Yeah, honestly, I love this OST. And there we go. Finally. Yo. The parallels, eh? Jeez and peace. Alright, so that was episode 192 of the Boruto anime, and I must say, it was a welcome episode for me personally. Granted, probably in terms of reacting, maybe I didn't have a lot of reaction moments, but for the most part, I thought it was a solid episode. In terms of accomplishing what it set out to accomplish, then this episode is like really highly rated. I enjoyed it more so, or at least with respect to its, I guess, value to the series as opposed to the last episode. This episode is blowing last episode out of the water for me personally. Now, of course, if you don't know, or if you don't read the manga, this episode basically adapts the first parts, the first few pages of chapter 26 of the manga, but at the same time, it more than just expands on it. It really expands on it, and I really appreciate that for what it's worth, because for the most part, as I said during the reaction section, Kawaki is arguably one of the best characters in the manga, so this episode serves to get the audience more empathetic or sympathetic or emotionally resonant with Kawaki as a character as we head into him actually going into Konoha. So of course, this is going to, as one of the central characters in the story, this is an episode that's really needed at the end of the day. And for what it's worth, it was really good. I thought they did a really good job in really emphasize or showcasing why Kawaki ends up the way he is today, how he got to meet, you know, Jigen, how he got to Kara. I mean, certain questions I imagine that the audience has, but on a more deep, well, on a deeper level for the most part, I love the parallels between, you know, Kawaki and the goldfish, and how, you know, the goldfish doesn't have any choice but to, you know, stay in its pond, stay in its bowl, stay in its, you know, container. If it jumps out, it dies. And the whole comparison between that and Kawaki, who's in a abusive relationship between him and his dad, and he doesn't really have anywhere else to go, so he is the goldfish in this situation. And it's very it's good because you can see even from like the visuals how, you know, he in his mind he doesn't have anything else, he doesn't want anything else. So at the most part, well, for the most part, the comparison or parallels between the goldfish really don't, it's easy for it's easy for them to really sell that comparison to us, the viewers, as it really hits home, honestly. And I loved it. Of course, the art in this episode, the art and the shading, there's a lot of points where it really looks really good, and I love that, honestly. I like there's so many art shots here, like you could probably use as like a desktop, or well, yeah, you could probably use it as a desktop background. Yeah, yeah, you could probably. Yeah, I definitely loved it. But I think more so than ever, like I wasn't expecting the goldfish guy to actually be like a human trafficker as well. So that also ties into why Kawaki doesn't, like, in retrospect, if you go back to how has been behaving since he got brought back to Katasuke's lab till now, and how he'll be behaving going into 193 and beyond for a bit. If you're an anime only, this episode does a wonderful job of explaining that, because you could see that on a like subconscious, or maybe on some level in his mind, Kawaki actually trusted the goldfish keeper to a level. And you can see that the revelation that he's someone that was going to betray him anyway, you can see how that would affect Kawaki going forward. So there's that. But all I'm saying is that Kawaki just needed to pull an Eren Yeager, become a Yeager, and just escape. I know, I've been pulling these Attack on Titan comparisons from last night. I know, Boruto Attack on Titan are the best comparison, but yeah, I know. So yeah, so for what it's worth, this episode did a wonderful job in accomplishing its goal of really building and, you know, laying out the foundation for why Kawaki is the way he is in present day, if you ask me. Granted, I'm still wondering if his father will be like, I'm not gonna say like a major part of the story at some point, but I would want Kawaki to actually come full circle and meet back his dad to see how that, you know, interaction would go. But what I also found interesting about this episode is that in terms of additional bits of information, to learn that his father is actually, you know, someone that participated in the fourth Great Ninja War. Maybe if they even fleshed out more so stuff about Kawaki's father, granted, abusive parents, nah, that's always a no-no. But at least we could potentially see how the war affected him on a mental level. So it's not something to agree with, but maybe it's something we could probably eventually become empathetic for, how Kawaki's dad became the way he, you know, became. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. A lot of moving parts here, but for the most part, I like this episode. Really liked it a lot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing things going into 193, and for the most part, I love this episode. But anyway, thanks for tuning in if you made it this far. Respect and shout out to all of you. Let me know what you thought about the episode in the comment section below, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully we can tackle Attack on Titan, the final episode for this part of the final season later, so look out for that if anything. Sanjuichi, and I'll see you in the next one.